Do the people around you discourage your dreams? Well, I've been there, but Jay helped me with that. And you can learn how too in this video.
So first you gotta ask yourself, do you control your life or not? Are you some victim? Or are you a baller who controls their life? Are you at the mercy of the universe? Or do you have free will and choice? Can you do things? Can you take control? Can you be proactive? Can you impact your life? Can you make changes to the way things are going? Right? Because someone who doesn't believe they control their arms and their thoughts, and they don't control their habits, and they don't control anything, someone who believes they're at the mercy and they're just a giant victim, will never change. They will never handle this abuse that's being hurled their way, right? Someone in an abusive relationship who thinks, oh, it's just the way it is and I can't do anything, will never change it. They'll never get out. But someone who's wait, this is bull. They'll look for women's shelters, and they'll look into therapy and counseling, and they'll leave and they'll go back to their mothers or whatever. If two people are being treated poorly, the one with the confidence and knowledge and understanding that they control their life and no one else does, one who takes responsibility, has the power to change the situation. They can actually make changes and do better and improve things. The one who's oh, it's just how it has to be, and I'm a victim, and I guess there's no changes, and whatever, and I'll never change. These kind of people won't. They can't. They won't. They'll be stuck with the abuse, right? So I'll just assume that you're the one in control of your life and able to make changes. So since you're able to make changes, the next thing is, do you control your circles? Do you control the people in your life? Do you control the amount of interaction you have? Do you control the topics you talk about? Do you control these things? Are you able to, or maybe not control, but influence? Are you able to influence and guide these things somehow, right? Do you have any impact at all on these things? And the answer is yes. You do control your circle, or you do impact your circles or influence your circles. You do decide how often you talk to people and how much and about what exactly. I'm going to use the word control. You control all these factors for more or less. So you won't be able to grow a business or start a business with all these weeds around you. A flower does not grow if all the weeds are sucking up all the resources and nutrients from the soil. And you want to blossom like a flower and be wealthy and rich and help everybody and be a great business person, but you have all these weeds just sucking it all out of you. But the thing is, it's not just like a flower, because you're also tending the garden. You're also in control of how many weeds are around for how long and how often and how much time. So for me, I just left home and became homeless for years. And that made sure there was no bad influences and abusive relationships around me. It's pretty extreme. Most people don't want to do that. But you do that, and I guarantee you, you'll be able to focus on your thing and do whatever you want to do with no pressure or abuse from others. I mean, you'll have other issues, I can't find food today, but it's a clear example of controlling your circles. And so that's one extreme. The other extreme is not doing anything at all. You don't make any changes, and the same people have the same conversations, the same abuse, and you have the same amount of weeds all the time. There's also a middle ground where you spend less time talking to these people. You avoid them as much as possible. You hide in bathrooms and work there. You go to hotels, you under the covers. You be a smart, creative person and come up with ways to interact with these weeds less, right? It's the middle ground. You're not cutting them off, going cold turkey, homeless, leaving home and never talking to anybody, but you're also not sitting around oh, well, I guess I'll never start a business, and these people keep draining my energy, and right? And I guess it's that simple, unless you have other questions, right? It's that simple. You find ways, creative ways to reduce the amount or the depth that you interact with these people. If they say something like, you'll never do it, or you never follow through, you could fight back and say, actually, I followed through on this piece of art project and this school thing and this. Or you could just be like, I guess we'll see. How's your day going? Right? Like, you could stand up for what you believe in, or you could just gently change the topic. But either way, you're reducing the amount of energy and abuse they're like throwing at you, because now you're talking about their life, them. How's things, man? Most people like to talk about themselves, and if they force it, yeah, but I still want to talk about this, and you're like, oh, I really got a jet, man. I actually have a client, right? And you don't, but it doesn't matter. Like, you're taking control of the conversation. Sure. So it's a scale, and there's like the powerless victim who does nothing on this side, and there's the badass baller who just cuts off everybody, and like, I'm having 0 negative abuses from people. Just
right.
So like, that's what you're describing is more towards this side, because you're talking to them, but you're kind of playing their game, and then you cut them off with like a I'm doing work stuff thing, but like, you're kind of playing their game. So it's okay, it's still good, and it will get you progress to your business and your life and your dreams. But the closer you can get to the extreme end, the better you're gonna be, right? It's more baller. So like, if you were to not talk to them for 7 days or 14 days or something, that's more on this side. Like, I'm a writer and I'm going to my studio cottage way up north, and I'm not talking to anybody. Like, then you're not even dealing with the conversation and having to figure out a way out of it, and then giving them a little jab. Like, you don't have to do all that stuff. Like, because even that stuff is draining. The person on the extreme end never has to do any of that. They just do what they want all the time. No one's influencing them. So you have to kind of know where you are on the scale, and it's fine to be somewhere in the middle, but like, you kind of want to lean more towards this side of the middle, rather than like, yeah, I just accept every call from them, and every conversation goes like this, and I always find a way out of it, and it's like, ugh, it just sounds draining. I mean, it's an okay solution, it's progress, but I wouldn't be super over the moon with it. Yeah, so there's 2 things there. One, it's not about creating a space distance. Like, moving away from home can help. Changing the environment, whatever you have to do, can help. But it depends, because there's lots of people who move away from home, but their parents still have the hooks in them. They still send them money or whatever, and then they have leverage on you, because you're taking something from them, and they could pull at any time, and you need it. But oh my God, like what will happen? So then I don't want to piss them off, and now I have to put up with their stupid conversation. So they're basically buying abuse time with you. They want to discourage your business and discourage your dreams, and you have to put up with it because you owe it to them. They're paying for it. So you're basically bought, unless you have the balls to go be homeless, or unless you can quickly make enough money. Like, it's called you money. There's a book on it, right? Unless you can quickly make enough money to be like, you, I'm doing my own thing. And since most people can't make money until they get free from the parents, it's like a catch-22. Like, I need to be away from these people to make money, but I can't be away from them because they're paying for me, so I don't have you money. So like, it's a catch-22. And so the thing is, like, you may live in a different country or place or whatever, but if they still have their hooks in you in any way, right, then you're still on this side of the scale. It's not great. And the second thing is, if you're too afraid you're gonna lose their funding, or too afraid you're gonna lose their support system, or too afraid you're gonna lose your house, like, if I showed you an abusive relationship where one person was trying to grow and thrive and prosper and be better, and the other person was an abusive alcoholic who beat them and never brought anything good to the table and just abused them and blamed them, what do you tell this person? You tell them, get out. And they say, oh, I can't. It's for I have the kids to worry about. or I can't. The house is in both our names, and then I'll be on the hook for so much. I can't pay the mortgage or whatever, or I can't, right? And so then what do you say? Well, save up and find a way out. And what do they say? I'd love to, but like I can't save up because he abuses me at work and after work, and I can barely keep up and make ends meet, and I can't put any away. Like, they always have an excuse for their fear. They're afraid to stop the abuse, and you're like trying to encourage them. So that's all I'm doing in this video. Like, straight up, those people are abusing you and your business. They're preventing you from growing. They are weeds sucking the energy out of your life, and you're letting them. And every time I give you an answer that's going to solve it, that's going to help you, that's going to move you up the scale and make you more badass and baller, you're going to come back with, oh, but, I can't. And we'll go do this dance forever. And so it's a giant waste of everyone's time. Because when it comes down to it, you're either creative and smart enough to get out of this situation, or you're not. And you tell me which one it is. Because I know deep down, you are creative and smart enough to get out of this, and we don't need to around with this dance all day long. You know how to do it. You know how to move up the scale and reduce the interaction and be better and create some changes and save up money and beat the fears and find a way around it and get the right help and like stay here and stay there and live in a closet and do whatever you gotta do to get. I know you're smart enough to do this. So let's stop wasting our time. So for a business to grow, it needs proper nourishment. It needs a good environment, not a abusive, unhealthy one. And the best environment I know is my Facebook group, where we talk about stuff like this all the time. If you want to join, check the link in the description below. Peace.